Tay.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Buck With Me podcast. I go by the name of Buckwheat, Tay, and today I have the top dog, the Uno, the man,
Yes, sir.
the God.
Yes, sir.
I like to call him Olarry.
Yes,
But
sir.
today we gonna be saying Tim a lot, man. Appreciate it, Playboy. How you feeling?
Chilling, baby. What's good?
Man, you know, life is good. You know, I'm glad I woke up this morning.
Of course.
So,
blessed.
you know, it's always a blessed day. Listen, bro. I've known you for a few years now.
A lot of years.
Well, yeah, at this point.
It's been about 12.
It's been 12?
It's been about 12.
God dang. See, it's funny because, since I've started the podcast, I don't realize majority of the time how long I've known somebody. Because time goes by. And first of all, I don't keep up with, like, I've been knowing you for, I've just known you for a while.
Yeah. I was thinking about that on the way here. I was like, damn, been watching them Club Sky days.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right.
That's at least 10 years.
No, that's been 10 years. Now that you mention it, it just hit me. It's been 10 years because that's what, yep. Man, we do go way back.
Yeah.
So are you born and raised from Tampa?
No, I was born and raised in New York City,
Okay.
Brooklyn, New York. And once I graduated high school, I moved down to Tampa in 2010.
Okay.
So about 14 years now, going on 15.
All right. Now, this is a question. I'm sure you probably get this a lot when you do stuff like this. What was the first game that you fell in love with?
First game I fell in love with, probably like Sonic in the 90s. Sega Genesis, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Really?
Yes. Either Sonic or like they had this game called Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
That was in the 90s. I remember my mom had the little duck hunt game with the gun at you point at the TV. I think that was one of the games I played. But yeah, those were like the things that kind of got me rolling at that early age.
Damn, was you really that good at it?
I mean, at that time, no. You know, I was just having fun. I thought it was cool.
And that's funny because I remember playing duck hunt, and me and my cousin used to get in heated discussions about who can shoot the best.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I ain't gonna say I was a better shooter. I ain't gonna say that my cousin was the better shooter. You know how some people are like, I was like, nah, I ain't even gonna lie. Cuz was just whooping my ass, and I'm just like, you can have it.
Yeah.
But when we played Pac-Man,
it.
that was my shit right there.
But yeah, Pac-Man, you can't go wrong with that. That's a classic. Yeah, I feel like everybody's got those in their house somewhere, you know, just when they got people over throwing a little gathering, you're going to pull out the old school stuff.
Exactly. So when did you transition into having fun to like, yo, I'm actually good at this?
So when I was probably 12, 13 years old,
right,
my dad had some like people at the barbershop who, you know, oh yeah, I play Madden, I play 2K, and then my dad was like, yeah, my son will whoop all y'all. And they were like, yeah, for sure. And then my dad was like, yeah, and I'll put money up on him. And I was, like I said, maybe 12, 13. And my dad took me to a couple of his people's houses, and we made like $200 one day. I remember he gave me like 20 of it, and I felt like it was the coolest shit in the world.
Yo, daddy was pimping your ass. I'm like listening to you, like, yo, Pops was straight up pimping you, dog.
Yeah.
On the gaming tip.
I thought it was cool. I said I got $20 for lunch this week at school. Like I thought I was accomplished. I thought I had got a paycheck.
Right.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you whooping grown men butt in video games.
Yeah. I guess that was it. And then so like as I got a little bit older, like teenage years, I think this was like 2015 or 2016. There was a tournament that 2K had called Road to the Finals, and this was for like $250,000.
Right.
And I made it to the final four of the tournament, and lost that game because my teammate's connection was bad and his internet turned off, and they didn't want to give us like a reset, so we had to play a 4-on-5, and this is a frustrating situation because I felt like I was the best player in the tournament. And I was like, our first 3 rounds, we won by 10, 15, 20 points. We didn't have any close games. And then we had to play like basically at a disadvantage and we lost. But like making the final four of a tournament where you have to qualify by being some of the best players in the world for $250,000 at that age, I was just like, okay, maybe I'm in that like top 1% of the world of people that can do this shit.
$250,000?
Yeah.
When did it? Okay, so hold on. We got a lot to talk about, but Just to hear you say that, and then like the times that you're dropping it. When did you hit you like, yo, this could be a lifelong career in video games?
I don't think it really hit me as like a lifelong career until like the 2K League was announced, which was probably like 2 more years after that, like 2017-ish, 2016, yeah, probably about 2016.
Right.
They announced that it was coming, but there wasn't like any like dates or anything yet. We knew maybe like a year or two. But when they announced that the actual NBA was backing up the video game to create a league where you get paid a salary and all that, then I was like, okay, I already did, Final Four, top 250. I mean, the top for the 250K. So if I made this Final Four, I got to be able to make this league. I feel like, and I just believed in it, you know what I mean? So, then the like qualifying process came around in 2017. I just went for it, tried, went through like this little online combine they had, and I dominated in that. I had crazy stats. I think I averaged like a triple-double, and I was selected as one of the top 100 players in the world, and that's all across the whole the planet, not just the United States.
As you're talking to me, I'm thinking about the movie that came out about the dude driving the car, Gran Torino.
Yeah,
is that what's the name of it?
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Like hearing you say that, that's like I feel like you're the movie right now because it's crazy. Like you being a teenager and you're just playing video games with your homeboys and hustling everybody, and next thing you know is like you're on this major platform and it's like it's real life and you're getting a check for it.
Yeah, like when that first check came in the mail, like I started getting mail from like it would say my name in the top right corner. It says like from the National Basketball Association, and I was just like, nah, this is crazy. Like for video games, like I'm an NBA employee for video games.
For video games. How did it feel to walk up stage when you got drafted?
I mean, that's the coolest thing in the world, right? So, like, growing up in New York, I played high school basketball. I played against, like, Maurice Harkless, who's been in the NBA for almost 10 years. Like, guys like that. Sebastian Telfair, like, real NBA players in New York. Like, New York is the mecca of basketball. So, like, that's every kid's dream is to get drafted in the NBA. Obviously, like, I didn't really have hoop dreams. I knew I wasn't good enough to go further past maybe high school or, like, an early college level. I was realistic. So you get that opportunity to like walk on the stage, get drafted by an NBA organization to represent them, and still get to shake, the commissioner, his hand. Like it's like I'm getting to meet Adam Silver, shake his hand. Like this is the whole process that these guys are. They're like I'm in the NBA now. Like you can't tell me nothing after that.
Listen, I love the story because the thing is, you got drafted to the Bucks.
Yep.
Like. That had to be a moment like that. That has to be one of your highlight moments so far in your life when it comes to gaming.
Yeah, for sure. Like that, that feeling is unreal. Like the process is crazy. They're putting you on a flight to New York. You're in one of the biggest hotels in Manhattan. You gotta, they're taking you to get tailored for whatever you want to wear. They're like, you getting the whole, the media rundown. Like you just feel like an actual NBA player or some type of crazy celebrity for those, that weekend that you're there. That's like, again, like coming from where I come from and like living in places I've lived and growing up the way I grew up, it's like, it's just unreal. I still think about it to this day.
You telling that kind of gives me the chills. And the crazy thing, you played basketball in real life. What position did you play?
So I played the 3, small forward, a lot of power forward, because I was already kind of tall when I was in high school.
Right.
A little bit better shape than I am now, but I was still kind of tall. So I played small forward, power forward.
And your gaming name is Olarry 2K, right?
Yeah.
Where did you come up with that name?
So before the 250K, before the 2K League, all that, this was like Xbox 360 days, probably like 2011, something like that, 12, maybe right before the new consoles came out. So we were playing these online. There's a website called Game Battles where you would play like online tournaments, 2v2, 3v3, 4v4, 5v5, whatever you could sign up for. And me and my boys were kind of running them, and we were just winning and winning like 60, 70% of the ones we played in. Went on a little run, started making a couple extra dollars, and it wasn't money like that back then. You'd be lucky to make like $200 a month.
Right.
This is before all this really blew up. But my boy Zay, he was just like, we like the dream team. And then so my boy Lou, he's like, well, I'm Mike. And then Zay is like, well, I'm Magic. And I was like, well, fuck it, I guess I'm Larry. like, and then like it kind of just like stuck with us. Honestly, at that point, like we just kind of just rolled with it, and yeah, I just was like, it's just once you get so deep into it, like that, as far as like your brand in the gaming world, it's like you don't ever really want to rebrand. So
no, of course.
Like, is this what you know me by? Is I'm gonna stick with it. It's easy.
When you're playing the NBA games, if I remember correctly, your strength was defense.
Yeah. So like in the 2K league, there was a time where I was leading the league in blocks for a while, leading the league in steals. You know, close to winning the Defensive Player of the Year award. Didn't win it, but you know, known as like if I'm on your team's gonna play good defense.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because when I think Olarry, I'm thinking like you shooting threes.
Yeah.
Like you're the guy like get down the court, pass it.
Yeah.
But it's the complete opposite. It's defense.
Yeah. The name was just the name at that time, just because of the whole dream team situation. But
Love it.
in the 2K league, I played every like position. I had games at point guard. I had games at shooting guard. I dominantly played like center and power forward, but I played every position, whatever we needed to do to win. You know what I mean?
No,
That's how it
I
was.
did that. So in high school, did you play like what? Your sophomore year, your freshman year?
Really?
We just transitioned to real life, y'all.
Yeah. Real life. Yeah, I played junior year and senior year as far as like varsity and all that stuff went. Sophomore year, I was doing like some like AAU type of like circuits, like you know, tournaments and stuff. Because in New York, they have a bunch of tournaments in different neighborhoods where you can play and really like build your character. Those are the ones that you get fouled and you ain't getting no calls. Like those are the ones that'll make you better. So. I probably started sophomore year though.
I feel like you're like the last generation that actually played rough basketball and understanding and not guy like you guys didn't get upset like you knew what time it was.
Yeah.
Now guys get fouled like no that's a foul. I'm like bruh. Yeah. Acting like LeBron. Chill out.
No LeBron slander, man. We're no LeBron slander.
Listen. I'm a Lakers fan. So when I say this, I jokingly say this, but at the same token, let's keep it real. And it's not just LeBron. It's a lot. So. Y'all guys have to understand, Tim is a connoisseur, of course, in the video game world when it comes to sports, but also in real life. Who's your favorite team, basketball team?
New York Knicks.
I hadn't met your ass. Who's your favorite football team?
New York Giants.
Why not the Jets?
You just don't do that. That's not what you do in New York.
But y'all, okay, so you don't even care about the Brooklyns? The Brooklyns.
The Nets?
The Nets.
No, we just took their best player. We're good.
How did you become a fan of the Giants and the Knicks? Is it just because that was the most popular thing in New York, or just like your dad?
Well, yeah. So remember, the Nets were originally in Jersey, so it's like New York, you just had to be with the Knicks, but that was it. So that was just like you were born in New York, you're a Knicks fan. That's like that's just part of your bloodline. It's who you are. Like it's part of your nationality, basically. That's it. You're a Knicks fan.
That's crazy.
And the Nets were in Jersey, so there was no debate on that. As far as the Giants and Jets thing goes, really my whole family, like 98% of my family was Giants fans. And, at that time, like I was growing up watching like the Tiki Barbers and like those guys. So it was like Michael Strahan, people like that. So it was kind of easy to just grow with it with the family, really.
When you run into old school players, when you're at these events or when you're just out and about, do you get some type of starstruck?
Yeah, so it still happens, man. It still happens. Like when I meet new people now that I've never met before, like it's still like sometimes I forget like what I've done.
Right.
Like my dad, he'll call me and he'll be like, everybody goes through those like ups and downs of life, and my dad will be like, "You straight? Don't forget who you are." And I'll be like, sometimes I need to hear that. I appreciate that.
No doubt. Did you get a lot of support when all this started happening from your parents? Or were they kind of like, Tim, like, you're playing video games, you can't really do this. Like, wish you go to college. Or get an education.
So when the, like, qualification process was going on, I still had a job. I was doing this on the side, like, with hopes of becoming a pro. Because I knew about, like, the salary, the benefits. Like, we had health coverage, all that stuff with the NBA. But at that time, they were like, yeah, you're working, you can do both. So they kind of supported it. But, like, I remember being in school, like, if I wasn't off the game by a certain time, my mom was busting in the room, taking the power cord or, whatever, like, you make sure it off. So I used to play with no volume on the TV. And if I heard her footsteps, I just turn the TV off and jump back under the covers and then, whatever. But when I was in high school, it wasn't so, like, there was a time limit on it. But
right.
Once I got older and they saw the possibilities of it, the salaries involved, the benefits, that type of stuff, they were like, if you're passionate about it, go for it.
That's what's up. So with that being said, when you're playing your games, maybe basketball or football, do you listen to music? or are you just focused on the game itself? Because I know some guys have to vibe out, have music in the background.
Yeah, so like game days for me, I had like a real like ritual, like just how like real athletes do.
Right.
Like if I knew we were playing at 6 p.m. that day, like I usually would be up at a certain time to either work out or something, get myself like flowing, get the juices flowing. Try to keep meals light before game because I wasn't trying to have bubble guts during the game. Eat fruits or yogurt, something light, stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, music's always a essential part for me. For those type of days where especially like big games, you're either playing a rival or you're playing like a tournament game, playoff game, stuff for like a lot of money. I would try to like listen to like a lot of R&B to kind of just keep the like nerves down. I wasn't one of them like let me get crunk.
Yeah.
I was listening to like Sade and shit like that.
Hold up. You just said Sade?
Yeah.
But you play a tournament?
Yeah.
What's your go-to music? In general, at this point, I'm just asking the question.
In general,
because you know where I'm gonna go with this.
Shit. In general, everything, man. Like, I listen to everything. I don't know. But right now, like current in rotation a lot. Schmirk, obviously. Shout out Schmirk. Love Dirt. Gunna, Thug, Uzi. I don't know. I like a lot of groovy shit now, like shit that you gotta have that like different wavelength to really understand.
Yeah, you ain't never listen. I'm gonna put you guys on some personal vibes right now. I'm gonna tell you that.
I know where this one's going.
That's why I asked you this. So we went to go see Gunna, not too long ago in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
I purposely went to the concert because one, I've never seen Gunna perform before. Plus, I'm like, let me see how he's gonna do in a concert. Have I heard the album? Yes, I've heard the last couple of albums. Keep in mind, the age bracket is different. This Tim is a Gunna fan. Don't get it twisted. And it's funny because I'm watching him and my other homeboy that was at the concert with her. I'm watching you dance to Gunna, and I'm like, how do you dance to his music? Like it's not even hype. It's just like mellow.
I don't think so. I think it's the opposite. I think it's turn.
He probably got what? A couple of turn songs, but other than that, and that's just the difference. Like when you get turned, I'm just like,
I feel like the thing with it is, I feel like I don't think none of it's really mellow besides like the pain music about like the whole court case that he did or whatever that album. But most of it, I feel like a lot of it's like flashy rap, like you know what I mean. Like his voice, I think that's the thing. When you say mellow, I think it's like maybe his like tone, because his voice is so like low that it sounds mellow, but like his production is usually nuts, whether it be like from the times of like with Metro or Weezy or any of them dudes. Like them dudes' production is just like he like you're never gonna hear Gunna on a whack beat, first of all. So like his production is usually through the roof, and then I just feel like he be rapping. Like I feel like his wordplay is cool, but it's flashy shit, like it's jiggy shit. You gotta like really have that like and that's the thing though, because people from back home be like, oh, how could you like the Gunnas and the Uzis and even like people like Gucci and Jeezy, and then you're from New York, and I'm like, yeah, who's my favorite rapper still to this day? Nas, Styles P. Those are like those are in my heart. That shit I grew up with. But thing is, as music grows, right? Times change. It's just like sports nowadays. You know what I mean? Like the talent level in the NBA is through the roof right now. I saw a thing today that said like there's 91 NBA players in the Olympics this year. In the 90s, when the Dream Team played, they only played against 9 NBA players. So there's like 60, 70 more NBA players in the Olympics this year than there were in the 90s. The game's gonna grow. You know what I mean? I feel like music's the same way. Like the evolution of music is just gonna continue. Now you got to the point where people are doing samples, looping old shit, shit like that. So it's like, do you just, all right, I'm only gonna, I'm gonna be that guy that gets older and just only listens to shit from the 90s and the early 2000s. Like, I love all that shit. I grew up on that shit. Mm-hmm. I won't stop listening to it, but do I just not give this new stuff a chance? You know what I mean?
No, and I give you that because there's been a lot of debate on a lot of older people where it's like, oh, today's music is trash. And I'm like, you're just stuck in your old ways, which is nothing wrong with that. If that's what gets you happy and that's how you vibe out. But there's a couple of new artists out there that I get down with. I mean, Rod Wave, I'm down with him. I was listening. Matter of fact, I was listening to Little Jerk last album, and I was like, okay, I fuck with this. There's a couple new cats that I'm cool with. I'm like, I can do this. But there's just some out there I cannot. It's just like,
yeah,
it's just what it is. I'm not saying not all, but just some.
I know how you feel about Gunna. Don't worry. You've already made that clear, man.
I'm not hating on Gunna. It's not even just like this is what it is. And when I say this, I think I'm gonna do this for everybody. It's some artists that you feeling. It's just some artists you're not. I think people my age or older people get too far with it. It's like when they start bashing. I'm like, bro, if you're not feeling it, you're just not feeling it. You ain't gotta listen to it.
Yeah.
Prime example, Eminem just dropped his new album. I'm sitting up here listening to it. I'm like, yo, he's saying retarded, talking about people in the wheelchair. Like he's name dropping, talking trash about celebrities left and right. And I'm like, people are like, oh, we need to cancel Eminem. I'm like, he really don't care.
He don't. He will never care.
And I love that about it because the thing is, people are going to say the word retarded.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like it, they're going to say behind your back and with their closest friends or who they're talking to. But when it comes out to the world, you have a lot of rap artists who's like, well, I'm not going to say it because I'm scared to go get canceled. Eminem don't give two.
Yeah, he don't care. And the crazy thing is that with that, I didn't even open up that Eminem album. I refused to because after so many bad ones in a row, I kind of chalked it. But same thing with Eminem. I can rap you songs from the Marshall Mathers LP,
right?
Brain Damage, his verse on Renegade with Jay-Z. I loved Eminem. I can rap you verses of his from 20 years ago. But that new stuff, I see the reels of it and the TikToks, and I'm just like, man, I just feel like it's just not the same anymore. And it's not about being able to change with the time or shift with the culture and whatever it's heading, but maybe he's just at an age where, like you said, he's dissing people now and talking about Meg Thee Stallion and stuff. Eminem is known as one of the best lyricists all time. I don't want to hear you rap about Meg Thee Stallion.
But did you listen to the bar that he wrote though? It was more it was clever how he did it. I'll say it like that.
It was the wordplay of the situation with the shooting and Tory Lanez and shot at a feature or whatever.
Right.
I get that. From a musical standpoint, the wordplay is clever, but it's just that's not who he is as an artist. That was never who he was. One of my favorite Eminem songs is a song called "Stay Wide Awake," and it's a dark song. He's talking about killing people and all type of shit, but
right.
The wordplay on that is it's a masterpiece. It's poetic. The way he puts the words together, the beat's good, the song's good, and it's a really twisted song. If you just Google the lyrics and just read it, you'd be like, this is some fucked up shit. Who would think of this?
Right.
But that's what we know him for.
Keep in mind, he was number one. Sold a lot of units.
Yeah. No, he still will never, his greatness and his resume will never be denied.
Would you put him as top 5, top 10, top 15 MCs today alive?
Today?
Yeah.
No, today he doesn't even make probably top 15 or top 20 today, no.
As a lyricist?
I don't think so.
So you're saying Gunna got better lyricists than Eminem?
Today, yes. In 2006, if you put what Gunna's doing right now in 2001, no.
Wow.
But it's not 2001 anymore.
I know, but wow. Damn, son. Oh, I disagree with your ass.
It's okay. It's healthy.
Yeah, exactly. We can talk about this. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's okay.
Okay, so with that being said, what artist that you feel, young or new, is washed up?
Washed?
Or going left field to is yeah, you're not going to make it no more. Had his moment.
I've been really disappointed with Roddy Ricch. That Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial album, I don't remember what year that was, 2019 or 2020 or 2018. I don't remember what year that was. Sometime in the last 5 years, that album came out, and that shit was great from beginning to end. The Backseat song with Ty Dolla $ign, everybody loved. He had a song with Meek Mill in there.
Yep.
The whole album was good, very good album. And after that, I was like, wow, the album went number 1, sold a lot of units. Saw the potential there, and I liked some of his rap stuff and then some of the melody stuff on the hooks. I saw like his potential, and like ever since then I've given him a chance every project. And
Right.
I feel like that was like his decline just needs to be studied.
Damn.
We got to put him in a lab or something.
How you think his production need to be a little bit better, or his writing skills, or writing ghostwriter need to be better?
I don't even know what it is, to be real. Like I don't know what the fall off is, but I just felt like it's for like, and that's the thing though. It's like it's hard to like when you put out such good work, your expectations are higher. You know what I mean? It's like when 50 Cent puts out "Get Rich or Die Trying," it's like now you expect that every album. You need to come that hard every album, and those are hard expectations to live up to.
The standard always goes up.
Exactly.
We're gonna stay in the West Coast real quick, and once again, man, we're talking to Tim here, man. The best gamer, in my opinion, in the world. So I'm saying that that's how I feel.
The man of many hats.
There it is. Oh, listen, when I say Tim has a lot of hats, we're going to get into that here in a little bit. What do you feel? I'm not going to talk about the Drake and Kendrick Lamar, and like that's beating a dead horse. But I will say this. With the steam that Kendrick has now, do you see an album coming from him by the end of this year or top of next year?
Yeah, I think so. I've listened to like interviews from people with his camp. Like they had the like Discord interview with somebody that was like surfacing. It was like an hour long. I listen to all that stuff when I'm in the gym or whatever. And yeah, they said that he not only had more diss records ready,
I heard that
recorded, just in case, but they said that he already got a few songs recorded that are basically approved for an album. So I don't know if it'll be late this year or early next year, but I'm sure one will come.
Yeah, when I heard the same thing you heard, I'm like, bro, you gotta drop an album now. Like,
yeah,
like the heat is there.
Yeah,
and right now, West Coast is all on your back.
Yeah. And it's crazy because like in that situation, obviously I think it's unanimous that Kendrick won, and I'm saying this as a Drake fan. Like I like both of them,
of course,
but I think it was pretty unanimous that Kendrick won. But I felt like the best song of their whole back and forth was Not Like Us, the best song.
Right.
But I feel like the best diss record was Family Matters.
And
we're talking about strictly diss record.
Right.
Like that's like 7 straight minutes of like coming at your family, your life, everything.
I can see that.
Like, you know, the Future situation, the Metro situation, the Rick Ross situation. Like he's coming at everybody.
No, I can see that. I
diss bars, I felt like that was the best diss record. But like we're talking about song, production, beat, you know, energy, cadence, all that stuff. Yeah, Not Like Us was the best song out of that whole, you know, back and forth.
That I agree with you on that, man. 100%. Like I said, Tim has a lot of hats. We're literally tapping in and some of the things that he has going on. Y'all don't know that Tim is into real estate. We're going to talk about that. I bet y'all didn't know. Y'all, if y'all follow him on IG, y'all know that he's a father, man. What's been some of the best advice that you got from your dad now that you a father yourself?
Whenever like new shit happens, cool stuff that like, you know, it's just like, wow, you know, in the moment you see it, and whether it be like first steps, first words, like different emotions, actions, like I think it's given me a newfound respect for like both my parents. You know what I mean? Like, damn, like, because it's not easy, obviously, you know. Parenting is not for the weak, you know. You losing sleep. Children are not cheap. You know what I mean? Like, there's an actual human that's like relying on you to survive, to eat, you know, to be clean, all that stuff. Like, there's a lot of perspective that you can't, like, there's no classes, no tests, no books you can read that can really prepare you for some of the things parenting puts you through. So, like, as I've been going through this for these first 3 years, I'm like, I really got a whole new respect for my mom and my dad. Like, y'all did that, and I appreciate y'all.
I know the word when I say this, patience really is like key with you right now, because I know your parents have to be patient with your ass.
Yeah, I was a good kid, man. I was a good kid. I was the one good kid out of, you know, me and my brothers. I was just put me in anything, you know, electronic, TV, and games or anything, and I'll be there, cool, chilling.
What's been one of the highlights as a father so far?
Just seeing how my son is like starting to understand me now that he's, you know, about to be 3 soon, and like the other day I was like hanging out with him and it was hot outside and I'm sweating, so I take my hat off and go to, like, you know, like got my head in my hand, I'm like wiping my forehead, getting the sweat off, and he just puts his hand on my lap and he's like, "Daddy, are you okay?" Like, for me being with my head down and wiping my head, he thought I was crying. He was like, "Daddy, you okay? Are you crying?" And I was like, "No, I'm all right, man." He was like, "Okay, Daddy." And he just kept going. I'm like, wow, he's like reading my emotions.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that was like the coolest shit to me because like, you know, you go from seeing I'm in the emergency room, I'm cutting the delivery room, I cut the umbilical cord. You know,
Right.
so I'm from that to this in the last 3 years. I'm like, damn, it's going by so damn fast, man. Like,
it is. Like, it's crazy to say that he's 3 now.
Yeah, he'll be 3 soon. And yeah, he's doing real well, man. He enjoys playing pickleball. Like 2.5-year-old, he's at the court.
How old?
Pickleball.
Little homie's playing pickleball at the age of 3.
Yeah.
Well, almost 3. Almost 3.
Yeah. His grandma plays pickleball a lot, so like that's like his thing now. He likes to go and he understands taking the paddle, hitting the ball over the net, that concept. He just started playing Mario Kart on the Switch, so getting him into games too.
Is it in the blood? We're gonna find out.
Yeah. Other day, he when I wasn't around him, he was with his mom. I was on FaceTime with him. He turned the camera from his face, like the front camera. He turned it to the other camera to show me his shoes. I didn't know he knew how to do that.
Hey man, these kids are smart.
He was like, look, daddy, like blue shoes, like or whatever he said. And I'm just like, how did you just turn the camera on purpose? I didn't even know you knew how to do that.
Shot the hell out your ass.
Every day something new.
So I mean, man, you've been through a lot in the last 5 years.
Life, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years is just a lot.
Yeah, because it's so many things that's popping in my head. It's like I have questions wrote down, but like we haven't even got into a lot of other stuff that we got to jump into. I know you talked about this before, man. Has there been any time that you looked at your kid and like broke down and cried because things that happened to you getting shot?
Yeah. The day he was born, I cried like a baby. His first birthday, I cried like a baby. His first steps, I cried like a baby. His first words, I cried like a baby. It's just like, it's all right, man. You know, like it's not a bad thing. It's just like, you know, again, it's like what my dad tells me, don't forget who you are. Don't forget how far you've come. And like, he tells me that and I tell him that because, you know, my dad comes from being in New York and being on the corner selling drugs in the 80s. And he tells me stories about, you know, hand in hand with crack and shit in the 80s. And I'm just like, damn. And I look at what he's doing now and I'm just like, we done came so damn far.
Right.
So like, yeah, like just stuff that my son does, like I just get amazed by it. You know, you shed a couple tears and you're just like, this is only the beginning.
No, it is.
It's only the beginning.
It is, man. I mean, do you ever think about, like when you look at your kid, you think about the moments that the dude, when you was in Jacksonville, watching your homeboy play, you know, whatever, the Madden game, and then you hear gunshots. It's like,
yeah,
like it's crazy because even talking to you now, I get the chills because it's like, that could have been it.
Yeah. I think about that every day. When I wake up, whenever I'm going through something tough, I'm like, if I can get through that, I can get through damn near anything at this point because, you know, that was like another day in the office for me. I'm there to, you know, make some money and,
right.
You know, basically working. I'm on the clock. So something like that happens unexpectedly. You're just like, what?
Right. If you guys don't know this, and if my audience don't know this, Tim was in Jacksonville, and correct me anytime when I'm telling the story real quick. In Jacksonville, doing a Madden tournament, I guess the dude was playing a game and he got beat and got upset.
I don't think he necessarily, I mean, he did lose, but I don't think it was necessarily him being upset. I think there was a lot of mental health issues there.
Right.
Supposedly, like, people, like, were bullying him online and, like, chats and stuff online, but I don't even think that really had anything to do with it. I think it was more of somebody that was just really mentally
broke down.
You know, because this is a big situation, obviously, when you shoot 11, 12 people and kill a few, and, you know, they, like, I think the FBI looked into it and they went to, like, where he was from in Maryland and the place where he bought the gun, and, like, the people that sold him the gun, that gun shop, they were like, yeah, he looked a little bit weird, like, he looked a little bit off, and if I had to guess, he was probably going to go home and kill himself. And I'm just like, so you sell him a gun? But I think there was more of, like, underlying stuff that he was probably dealing with on a personal level than it really having anything with him to do with losing. Because I think when they searched his room, I don't even know if they found, like, clothes or anything. Like, I think it was, like, premeditated. Like, you know?
Right.
And that's all mental at that point. I don't think it has anything to do with losing.
I have to give you props, bro. Like, you're a hero in the sense of, like, you didn't go left. You choose to go positive, go right. what kept you motivated to move forward instead of going to a depression?
Well, I did, honestly. I don't really talk about it a lot. I don't think I've ever talked about this, but yeah, those first 6, 7 months after that happened was real dark because like when I got shot in the hip, it was hard to walk for a while, so I was kind of like, yo, forced to be like a homebody for a while,
Right.
just recovering. Being shot in the chest, the hip, the hand, bunch of shit. So it's like you gotta sleep a certain way, you gotta move a certain way, you can't really walk, you can't do anything active. Like I like to play basketball, I like to, go to the gym, I like to, do different things and be out and about, and I'm just like stuck in the house. So like when you're stuck in the house for that long, for 6, 7 months at a time, it's like it's too much time to think, you know what I mean? You start getting like survivor's remorse and shit like that, and you think about like people that didn't make it, and you're like, damn,
Right.
that could have been me, or why them and not me? Like those thoughts definitely happened. Like I went through that, and I don't remember what it was. Actually, I do. All right, so there was again, I've never talked about this, like not even once in an interview or podcast, nothing. My family don't even know this. So I was I was going through it, man, and like the hospital had me on all type of like pain meds and stuff like that, and all type of drugs. And there was a time where like I got real like down, man, and I'm not gonna lie, I had like a bunch of pills in my hand, like considering my life, bro.
Wow.
Like it got that bad, and I think as that happened, like me, like basically like at a point where I was ready to make that decision, I think my mom had walked in because I had moved back with my parents after that happened because I needed help just recovering. I couldn't really like do anything for myself. So I think my mom had walked in or something. I just like closed my hand. I had all the pills in my hand or something like that. And I don't know. I felt like that was like a signal. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like she was like the timing of it. Just like I'm a believer in like shit happens for
timing is
yeah. And like I was just like I was really about to do some dumb shit probably, and she like walked in. And I'm like, I'm not meant to be doing this. So like after I went through therapy for my hand and my body and all that, and I started being able to do a little bit more. I don't know, something just told me like I wanted to just turn it around, and I started like, because the doctor told me like I was a really big boy at that time. I weighed over 330 pounds. Like I was a really big dude. And she told me, she's like, if you weren't a big guy, you might not made it today. You're, all this extra you got in your body kind of ate these bullets up.
That's crazy.
So I don't know. After that, I kind of just was like, I want to, feel better. I want to look better, and started working with a trainer, meal prep, and I lost about like 60, 70 pounds. Got down to like 260 where I'm at now, and I'm like halfway to where I want to be. So
that's what's up, bro. God, I gotta give you doubts for that right there. God dang. And the crazy part, he just put in his stories recently that he's back in the gym. Which I'm proud of you, bro. Like that's crazy. I can really relate to what you just said just now on a personal level. So I'm glad that you was able to overcome that. Not too many people can overcome what you went through, and that to me in that time length.
Yeah, I think it's important to just like, if you got a couple people in your corner that are rooting for you, that really give a fuck about you, you got to use them to your advantage. You know what I mean? And it's not like necessarily using them, but like,
support system.
Yeah, like you don't have to. Basically, when people like, if you have those even if it's one person, two people, a family member, a mom, whoever, if you're in that like space where you're not doing well mentally, like I'm very big on mental health. Obviously, ever since all that, like that shit changes you as a person. Use your resources.
Right.
Like I feel like talking to someone is real. Like that shit helps getting it out. Because people won't never really know what you're going through if it's all in the head.
Nah, that's true.
So
very true.
Ever since then, I've been like a really big like mental health advocate. I did the Black, Brown, and College Bound Summit, a mental health panel.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. Spoke with a lot of doctors, and they were like, just like, man, you are like sharp with this, like you're a pro at this. I was like, well, first of all, I've been talking about this for a long time, but it's just like, it's always good. I'm on a panel with 3 actual like psychiatrists, and most of the people that are like in the crowd that are asking questions are asking me because they know that I can relate to them. There's kids that have been physically abused by their parents, or somebody that went through like some unfortunate situations at home, whether it be seeing their parents get into it, seeing someone pass away. That stuff's traumatic. You know what I mean? Like people, that shit sticks with them forever. So like the fact that they had someone to talk to meant a lot to them, and I enjoy doing stuff like that now. I've been trying to be pushing for mental health for a lot more like recently.
That's what's up. Definitely. Well, if you need help with pushing that agenda, bro, by all means, I got your back on that. That ain't nothing but love. When I say this jokingly, but like, has any of your friends been joking, but like, hey, what's up, Tupac? What up, 50?
Yeah. No, so yeah, that's happened before, but at that time, I think I made a tweet like after I recovered, and I knew that like I'd be able to play again, and my hand would be all right, and all that stuff. People were calling me like Luke Cage for a while, because that was when that show was out.
Yeah,
and, it was.
I forgot about that. That's damn.
Yeah,
that's wild.
So I got the Luke Cage references for a while more than anything, but it was funny. I liked that show, so I wasn't mad at it.
I feel you. The crazy part, bro, with life moving the way it's moving for you, you're doing a lot of behind the scenes success things. From my point of view, like when let me put you guys on even more game.
Okay.
Y'all looking at a representative of Lil Durk.
Yep.
Can you break that whole Lil Durk situation down?
Yeah. So I was already following the OTF gaming page on Twitter, or X now, and they said something about that they were getting into the basketball and gaming space of basketball. And, I figured somebody like myself, the awards I have, the accomplishments I have, I'm like, let me reach out. So I shot him a DM, and the person who was formerly running, the team at that time, he was like, yeah, let's set up a call. So my boy Zeph, shout out to Zeph, he set up a call with me, and we talked about like what they wanted to do. Right. And basically there was an opportunity to kind of like grow on the 2K side, because they were more so known for like Call of Duty content, the first person shooter content. They wanted to like go other ways and get into different fan bases basically.
Gotcha.
So opportunity was there. I was like, great. And the biggest thing was the 2K League had basically said, we're going to do a celebrity showcase game. We're going to get OTF's team versus Sada Baby's team for $10,000.
Okay.
So they basically wanted me to represent OTF in that game. So they brought me in and two other people that were already with OTF as content creators, and they, more so play Call of Duty, but they play 2K like casually. And I just told them like, just trust me, like give me the ball, trust what I say. If I tell you to, go this way, cut, set the screen, just put your faith in me, and we're gonna win this. This is easy. And we played against Sada Baby and the two other guys that he had, and we kind of dominated them real quick, and like the games weren't close. And after that, the relationship was good, and been with them since. Went from like just mainly focusing on like 2K content to now I'm basically like the GM, assistant GM of everything. Doing merch. A lot of behind the scenes stuff that I really can't speak on now, but like some real cool shit we're working on. So
stuff that you can't speak on now.
Yeah,
we might be seeing it within the next couple of months, top of the year.
Hopefully before the year is over.
Okay.
It's a developmental thing, software type of thing. So working with the developers on that weekly, getting updates. We just announced a partnership with Drink Control, which is like a meal supplement for gamers. Gamers got the whole stigma of Doritos and Mountain Dew and shit like that. So
junk food.
Right. So, while you're playing, if you don't have time to eat, they have these bars and everything with, little to no sugar, zero sugar, most of them. They obviously taste good, and protein in them, things like that, bars. And then also just like powder, you add some water, almond milk or whatever. Now you got a meal replacement shake. Do it while you're gaming, before you go to the gym, whatever. And Drink Control is a big company. They're invested in by Rick Ross and a lot of other celebrities. So if you see on Rick Ross' Instagram, you'll see him posted about Drink Control. He's an investor on them. And we closed our deal with them. I helped work on that. We did our whole like rollout with that. So now when you head over to Drink Control's website, use code OTF for discount on your products.
If y'all need a endorser for my podcast, buck with me. Yeah, but let's make that happen.
Drink control, buck with me.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Bruh. So what NFL basketball players have you? This is the crazy part. When I heard this, I was like, wow. He's actually have had professional players to get them better on their video games.
Yeah.
How can you make a person better on a video game, first of all?
Just kind of like giving them the rundown on a lot of like pro tips that they don't really know, because there's like obviously like levels of gaming. You got the beginner where you just buy the game, pop it in, you just going out having fun. Then you have like that casual who like plays a good amount, but they're still like, then you got the competitive guy who thinks he's better and he wants to play amongst his peers for $10-$20, and then you get like the bragging rights guy. And then you start getting above that competitive level where it's like, like these are guys that are taking this shit seriously. They're in tournaments, traveling, going to events, things like that. So a lot of people don't know a lot of different things, settings, what, layout to have your controller on, what's best for this type of latency, shot timing, what type of meter you use.
That's crazy.
Like there's like just a lot of like ins and outs of like the mechanics of the game that people don't know. When you play the game that much, or you're a professional, or you sometimes we get opportunities to test the game before it comes out, find bugs, things like that. So if we know something is like broken, like if there's like a overpowered like glitch in the game that a lot of people won't know, I'm like, no, you should be doing this because it's unstoppable. And they're like, wow, I didn't even know that. But that's usually what those conversations are like with like either rappers or basketball players or whoever.
Well, let's name drop. What rappers or what NFL players or basketball players reached out to you like, hey, can you give me a couple of tips on my game?
Yeah, as far as like rap goes, a lot of people locally here in the city. Like shout out my boy LA to go. That's my boy. He he plays Madden, shit like that, and 2K, whatever. I talked to Tom about gaming, Tom G. Know him for a long time, so we talked about gaming, but everybody in the OTF camp, Dirt, his DJ, bands, everybody in the OTF camp. And then in the NBA, it's just really all the teams that I work with, like former Bucks players from back then when I was with the Bucks. Like, so I used to live in a building right across the street from the Bucks arena.
Okay.
And it's like a high-rise condo, and basically everybody not named Giannis lived in my building. Like, I'd be walking to work, and I'd see like Jason Terry walking his dog, and all these other players and stuff like that. So like Tyler Zeller, them type of guys. And yeah, they just ask questions, they're curious. The same way like we would like wonder like what it's like to be an NBA player. They were like wondering like what it's like, what do our day-to-days look like? What do we, how
that's dope.
They would ask us about how is it to be a pro, or how long have you been playing? What do I got to do? And then they're starting to tell you about their gaming experiences. But the best relationship I've probably developed from that would probably be like when I was with the Cavs. So me and like Darius Garland are like super locked in now.
Okay. Oh, all right.
That's like probably one of my close friends now. Like we got our little group chat for like, yo, y'all getting on the game, We talk about music, like whenever he has a bad game, I'll get on his ass. Like, come on, man, you miss easy practice shots. Like, but that's our relationship we have now. We're like that close that we could do shit like that. So shout out to DG. That's my boy.
Man, yeah, even hear you say that, I'm happy for you, bro. And the crazy part, what I'm so even extra happy about, you're doing some stuff here in the Tampa Bay area that I don't think people realize. You made a lot of money in the gaming world, to now you're doing real estate stuff?
Yes, I'm really just an investor.
My bad. He's an investor. That's how much money he's making right now. Or has made. It's still making. Damn.
Yeah, so, I used to win all the like local tournaments here in Tampa, and they were run by High Point Gamer. A lot of people know, Derek or Khalil from High Point Gamers, the owners of that company, and they do a lot of stuff locally. Tournaments they get with like schools, do things for kids, a lot of giving back to the community type of stuff. So I was winning all their tournaments, got really close with them. But Khalil's home as he's like the owner of High Point, but he's like dominantly real estate, and he came to me with like opportunities on just developing here in the city, Seminole Heights and the Pines and things like that, like these neighborhoods that are, trying to turn them around. And, so he just came to me with an opportunity, showed me a vision on a couple things. And, now we got single family homes, we got townhomes, we got whatever you need, you know what I mean? So Property Scholars investment group is, who I'm with him.
That's dope.
And yeah, we got a big project that should be done by the end of the year. You see some of it on my Instagram, the townhome. That's probably like our biggest stuff to date. This is like over $1 million project, which is big for, a small group from people that are local, like it's just a small team just trying to get some shit done.
Is the rent gonna be high like everything else?
So we'll be selling them.
Okay.
We're not gonna rent them out. They're gonna be sold because the townhomes are basically broken up into 3.
Gotcha.
And yeah, they'll be sold. So we're doing single family homes, townhomes, anything that we can break ground on. We were working on a food truck park too. Hopefully coming to Seminole Heights as well, right on Nebraska.
Seminole is hot right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of new restaurants and the area is kind of like turned into like a foodie area. Yep. So we're working on something. We already own the land. We got a lot there. Hopefully next year we can dip back into that, and we're working on like a food truck park there. Talk to Tom about getting his truck there and other people, and just try to bring a vibe. Cities continue to grow. Yeah.
So the podcast, man, is get to know who the person I'm talking to, which is you, Tim. It's also about hospitality and nightlife. Mm-hmm. What do you feel is like the do's or don't in the restaurants? Like service. Is that a top tier situation for you? Is the food top tier situation for you? Is the parking situation, the location of a restaurant? Like, what's your input on that?
Yeah, so I used to work in Soho before all the gaming stuff, so I've been around like hospitality in different ways. I think people just really forget that like whenever you do something like that, whether you're playing a date night with your woman, you just need to get out the house, you're stressed out, you want to go get something to eat or have a drink, whatever. I think it's just about the vibe that you create for someone, right? Like you said, from the second they pull up to your place of business, how do they feel? So, are they greeted with valet service? Is parking available? Or you gonna, they gotta wait 20 minutes to find a space?
Right.
Then when you get in there, there's different aspects. Like you can't, sometimes you can't get mad at the server if the cook messed something up, you know what I mean? Because they're 2 different people. This girl's just making sure your drinks are good. You got your straws, your napkins, your whatever, taking your order, trying to do everything that she can at her position. Right. So hospitality is kind of like, those places are kind of like, you look at them like a car, it's like a well-oiled machine. You got somebody that this is their task, this is their task, and this is their task. Now, if you guys are all doing what you're supposed to be doing at a high level, everything's just kind of flowing in synergy, yep. You know what I mean? So I think that's what really just makes the thing, because when you go out, it's like, you can go anywhere. There's so many restaurants across the city, whether it be 5 stars, Michelin's. We got a couple of those here in the city.
Yeah, we do.
You can go anywhere, and it's just like, are you paying for like the experience? Or are you paying for the, what is it that you're really looking for? And I think that it's a little bit of everything. Food's good, service, they take care of you, your experience is good, offer you certain things, hidden menus or whatever, everything.
Being that you are retired, right? Or likely still play.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, if there's opportunity, I'm all up. For me, it's just like the time to money like ratio now. So it's like, I don't really play casual anymore. Like my dad will hit me up, play Call of Duty, or my family members, or hop on to, and I just, from doing it for professionally for so long, right, being on the clock for that type of stuff, now I'm like, if I turn the game on, it's got to put some money in my pocket.
Gotcha. Damn. Just like that.
Yeah.
If you ain't putting no money in it, ain't no challenge. Yeah. Man, y'all make sure y'all keep it locked. Shout out to Tim. Yes, Olarry, 2K in the building, baby.
Buck with me.
There it is. Okay.